Alright, welcome back to HED 241, Biostatistics and Public Health. We are going to move on to Section 4, Scales of Measurement. So scales of measurement, also known as levels of measurement. These assist researchers to determine what types of statistical analysis is appropriate for a given data set. So you have to know what kind and what level of measurement it is to know what kind or type of statistical analysis you can do or that you should do. The first type or first level is nominal. This is also known as categorical. Think of this as the naming level because names or words are used instead of numbers. So there are no numbers in nominal. So think categorical is kind of an easier way to remember it. Some examples. People name the political parties with which they are affiliated. Those are nominal. People name their gender. People name the states in which they reside. People name their religious affiliation. So nominal scale of measurement categorizes participants but does not put them in any particular order. No basis for higher or lower. So it's simply a category. It doesn't have any order. It is something that you affiliate with, a way you identify, anything like that. Male, female, your sexual orientation would qualify. We mentioned religious affiliation, political party, anything like that that is just a category. Your relationship status is another one. Ordinal. Ordinal places participants in rank of order from high to low, but does not indicate how much higher or how much lower one participant is from another. Okay, so, sorry, the numbering got off here a little bit. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're ordinal, but it doesn't tell you, what's the difference between 1 and 2, or 2 and 3. Okay. Another ordinal, this is 1, 2, 3, you're putting them in order. Ordinal, anything like these can just be ordinal. Anything you can put in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just an arbitrary order. So measurement indicates relative standing of participants but does not indicate the amount of difference in the height. So we know the participant with a ranking of 1, so this one right here is taller than 2, 3, or 4, but we don't know by how much. Interval and ratio. Both have equal intervals and usually analyzed the same way. Only ratio has an absolute 0 though. That's the difference between the two. Okay, ratio has an absolute 0, interval does not. Okay, so measurements indicate height of participants to the nearest inch. If one participant is 5'8" and one is 5'6", we know the order of participants and we know how much they differ from each other. So we know there's a 2-inch height difference here. We know there's a 2-inch height difference here and here. So they're equal intervals. The difference between 3 and 4 inches is the same as the difference between 5 and 6. So with interval and ratio, the differences are the same between each point. They're analyzed the same way in most statistical analysis. There is a scientific difference between them. So ratio, as I mentioned before, has an absolute 0. We know where the 0 point is on a tape measure. Okay, so think about things that have an absolute 0. A 0 point. What can you actually have 0 in? And that would be ratio. Okay, so looking here. If we measure intelligence, we do not know exactly what constitutes absolute 0 intelligence and cannot measure the 0 point. Therefore, it's interval. Okay, so, below 20. Okay, so we don't actually have like an absolute 0. Okay. Here's a way for you kind of to remember the order, right? So no oil in rivers, so nominal. It's the least precise. Okay, it's just putting them in category. Ordinal is putting them in some form of order, but we don't necessarily know what the order means. Interval. And then ratio. So ratio is the most precise. Nominal is the least. So your goal is to always have ratio data, if at all possible, and to avoid nominal. Another way I think of nominal are like your yes-no questions. You always want to have a question that's not necessarily yes-no, but have something that can be more specific. Okay. Section 4 questions. I will post within your assignment the specific questions you need to answer. But make sure you review these and are able to answer these questions moving forward. If you have any questions on this section, as always, please feel free to contact me.